Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into the 2 main reasons why you aren't reaching your goals. Before we get started with today's video, feel free to connect with me over on Instagram. Lots of different things and different content over there. I will post my handle here on the screen. I look forward to connecting with you all over there as well as here on YouTube. Even though I know these 2 things, it is still something that I have to keep reminding myself of. And I want that to sink in. You can know something and still have to remind yourself of it. I have a very type A personality, and so I like for things to be organized. I like for things to be detail oriented. I like a plan. I like structure. But life, it's easier. It becomes more natural and more fluid, but it is something that I still have to remind myself of. These 2 things are literally the things that have not only helped me to stay committed, but to push through during difficult times. People often see the things that I have achieved and they're like, wow, you're so strong, or wow, you're so disciplined, and oh, wow, you're such a go-getter. And while yes, that may be one part of it, I do believe that these 2 things have really helped me to push the boundaries, to challenge myself, to set higher and higher goals. And so I want to share those things with you today. What typically happens is we find an area of our life that we want to improve, and it typically falls into one of 3 categories: our relationships, our money, and our health. But no matter what area it is that you're trying to improve, without these 2 things, you're going to continue to feel defeated and depressed and remain stagnant. With relationships, we're often looking to get into a relationship and not feel a sense of loneliness, or we're already in a relationship and we want to improve the quality of that relationship. In terms of money, people want more, right? Most people want more money to come to them. And if it's not more money, sometimes people are honestly just wanting to be better financial stewards of their money. So saving better, decreasing debt, learning about the stock market, investing, and things of that nature. And when it comes to our health, we typically either want to lose weight, gain weight, focus on body recomposition, and sometimes it's the more general things like eating healthier and living a less sedentary lifestyle. But it doesn't matter what area that you want to improve in, the 2 things remain the same. The first thing that will make all the difference in achieving your goals is you have to decide. Now hear me out and stick with me. Now I know some of you guys are like, oh man, you're expecting something bigger. A lot of times the secret sauce is simple. So just hear me out. So not too long ago, my son got sick, and you know, when your child is sick, what do they want? All of the snuggles and cuddles, and of course I'm going to give that to him. But in turn, what does that mean? That means that I also catch whatever bugs that he has. Fortunately, he rebounded much quicker than I did. I had this thing for, I want to say like 7 or 8 days, and I hate being sick. You know how they say guys are big babies when they're sick? I am a big baby when I'm sick. I specifically remember on day 6, I was starting to feel a little bit better, still having symptoms, and I had to get up early in the morning because I needed to get him dressed and ready to go to school. So I dropped him off, I came back home, and I was sitting in my car. I think most adults kind of have this time period where we just sit in our cars. It's kind of like a decompression session where we just have like a little bit of quietness to ourselves before we step out in the world. It's like vying for our attention again. So I was sitting in my car, I picked up my phone, I got on Instagram, and I saw some messages. So I'm a part of this accountability group, and we are motivating and encouraging each other to stay accountable to our goal to ourselves, which is to move our bodies with intention for 30 minutes every day. We are all in different time zones, so some of the girls had already posted their picture for the day, that they had got their movement in, and as I sat there, I had this light bulb go off. And I say it was a light bulb because, like I said before, it's already something that I knew, but it's like that light bulb went off as a reminder. And I sat there and realized that I had a decision to make. I could get out of the car and go for a walk and do the thing that I said was important to me, or I could decide to get out of the car, walk into my house, and get back under the covers. Now, mind you, I legitimately had very good reasons to get out of my car and go back under the covers. I had called off from work that day just so I could get some rest. I was still feeling under the weather. I had this sinus pressure that made my head feel like a balloon. I had a larger than life pile of laundry with my name on it. I had tidying up to do at home. The weather was cloudy and overcast. I needed to do groceries. I needed to get my taxes started, and the list goes on and on. But there's an author by the name of Brene Brown, and she talks about the concept of both and. I can have 1,000,001 things to do and want to stay committed to my health and wellness goals. I cannot be feeling my best and find a way to pivot my goals to my current situation. So at that moment, I made a decision to get out of the car and to go for my walk. And the way that I was able to pivot that to still meet the goal is, instead of going for my normal 2-mile walk around my neighborhood, I had the strength and the capacity to do 1 mile. And so I did that. And honestly, once I was done, I felt really good. I felt proud of myself in that moment, because even though my circumstance and my situation was not the most optimal, I still decided to show up for myself. Even when circumstances aren't favorable, I can still show up in some way. Sometimes we have a very black and white perspective and outlook when it comes to meeting our goals. I'm either meeting them 100% or I'm not meeting them 100%. And that's not a very healthy way to look at it. I have found it more successful for people to find their shade of gray, which leads me to the second thing. It actually ties in really nicely here. You have to know how and when to pivot. We have to be realistic with the understanding that life is going to ebb and flow. Life is going to have ups and downs. And those ups and downs can come week to week, month to month, and year to year. Especially if you hold multiple roles and titles: mom, daughter, sister, friend, employee, or employer. Like, all of these things can ebb and flow in different increments throughout our lives. So with those ebbs and flows, we have to know what we have the capacity and what we have the bandwidth for. I will always advocate that something is indeed better than nothing. Now, don't take this and use it as a crutch. Some people will have the most unhealthy meal and put 2 carrot sticks and try to be cute and say something is better than nothing. Now, for some people, the type of lifestyle that they live is really unhealthy, and them adding those 2 carrot sticks to their plate is actually progress, and they are actually making a step in the right direction. But for some of us, we try to use it as a crutch, and we try to use it as a way to play in our own face, when in actuality we know that we could do better and we have the capacity to do better. The longer it takes you to really grasp these two things and really understand them on a deeper level, the longer you will continue to remain depressed, defeated, and ultimately the longer it's going to take you to reach your goals. Life is not this smooth, linear experience. Life has ups and downs, and so we really have to be able to ebb and flow with the changes of life. Because remember, it's about progress, not perfection. In one season, you may be crushing it. You may be saving $500 a month or putting $500 per month towards your debt. You may be hitting your goals of 30 minutes of daily movement every day. You may be having the most amazing relationship experiences and memories being made. And that's amazing. But life throws us curveballs. We get sick. Our cars go out. Something happens with a family member. There are so many different things that can happen to us that throw us off track. And a lot of times these things happen unexpectedly. When these things happen, a lot of times it brings up a lot of negative emotions. And while we're here, I just want to be really transparent about those emotions. Sometimes we're physically capable of doing something, but psychologically we're in such a rut. We feel numb, we feel a lot of brain fog, and we just lack the willpower to really get up and do the things that we know we need to do to reach our goals, because psychological turmoil can be extremely heavy for a lot of us. And that's real life. Like, we have to be able to give ourselves enough space and grace to be human. Instead of stopping completely, although I do believe that stopping completely in some situations is exactly what you need to do, when it's not one of those situations, instead of stopping, how can we find our shade of gray? How can we pivot? Maybe instead of saving $500 per month, we are only able to save $25 to $50 per month. That something is still better than nothing. If we're not able to work out and move our bodies intentionally every day, maybe we can only do it 3 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes. Don't let the fact that it feels lesser make you feel defeated or like a failure. I view consistency in many ways the way that I view my money and my investment accounts. Consistency compounds. If you're not sure what compounding means, especially when it comes to finances, YouTube, you're already here. After this video, look up what compounding means when it comes to finances and just educate yourself on that a little bit. Our actions or non-actions compound over time. Small actions in the right direction still move the needle forward. Sometimes we see dips in the market, but that's not an indication to stop investing or to stop putting money where you know over time it is going to grow and get you the result that you're looking for. You keep going, whether big or small, because it all truly does add up. The one thing that I want to leave you with today is set a realistic, smart goal. And I don't mean smart like an intellectual goal. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Once again, you're here on YouTube. Literally everything that we need to succeed is at our fingertips. So you can also, after this video, look up SMART goals to get some more information on that. Once you set that SMART goal, decide that you are going to give it your full effort and do what you can to achieve it. But know when to pivot. And when you have to pivot, make sure that you create a new SMART goal given what you have the capacity and the bandwidth for. I really truly hope that this video encourages you to keep going and to keep putting one foot in front of the other, no matter what stage of life and what season that you're currently in. I really am rooting for you. I'm rooting for all of us, but we have to slow down and we have to be realistic about where we are. We need to decide, act, and pivot when necessary. If you found this video helpful, if you found this message something that really resonated with you, if you know that it's something that will resonate with someone else that you may know, love, or want to just give some encouragement to, feel free to share this video and just know that I am rooting for you. Since you're here on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to my channel to continue getting content like this. Also, don't forget to like this video, share a comment below, and share the video with a friend who may also need today's message. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it brought you some value. Until the next time.